Not to go to Kim and Paul, by the way. Okay. They haven't stepped up the way I've asked them to too many times. And yesterday, Kim said to me, she said, well, Paul and I can just sit back now and let you launch the book because you do the marketing. I went, okay, Kim, that's why it's not working.
Yeah.
I said, I sent you a plan and we had a meeting 2 weeks ago and I specifically said what to do each day. We can't be you. And the only way in my mind that this is going to work is if people really get to know you and Paul, because you're great people. I mean, I spent 4 days with Kim. She is effervescent beyond belief. And for a lady who's 60 something, she has the giddiness of a teenager. I mean, and the imagination of a teenager too. I mean, she's an amazing, amazing lady. Paul is a smart guy and he's charismatic and I pretend that he's like a JFK because he has got money and he has got the looks and he's got the family background, but
he's got the hair.
Yeah,
got the hair.
But this is why we're not sharing this video. He is not hungry. He is out of work. His family car dealership got sold. He brings in zero income. His wife's a dietitian. She brings in some money. But if it was me, I would be, holy F, I have to make money. And the whole idea behind them writing Gifted was for them to create an educational curriculum that they would then go teach and sell. That they have not written. It doesn't exist. The first chapter of one curriculum concept is written. So that's not to me pass blame or just say it's not our problem or anything. I'm just telling you exactly where the situation is today. But at the same time, I had the privilege of meeting a guy who this time last year published a book called Stella and the Timekeepers. And it got some traction. And he is now meeting next Thursday in
Hollywood?
Burbank with the Walt Disney Corporation for them to buy the rights to his first book and for him to write 6 more.
Wow.
And it's not beyond the realm of possibility because the producer that got him in front of Disney, I met. And he would do the same for Gifted if it hits a New York Times bestseller. So they have the potential of making a crapload of money and media if we get this right. And they 100% believe that we are the right people for them, which is no pressure. Okay. We just lost Erynn, but I think she just turned the camera off, right? You still here?
No, I'm still here. I'm just closing the glass sliding door, and I didn't want to give everybody a show because I'm in my bathing suit.
Not ready for you. Awesome. Okay.
Hey, we're family.
We always appreciate a show, Erynn.
Just had to close the glass sliding door.
Okay, I need to regroup now.
Oh, it's not that impressive.
So Kim told me, and she made a video that you might have seen, that they spoke to a number of agencies, like a considerable number, and not one of the agencies really understood the potential of what they had. And everybody they spoke to talked about numbers of posts and metrics. Nobody ever talked about story. And she said, we just knew as soon as we met you, and it was kind of bizarre because they spoke with Erynn, the first meeting she said was excellent. We totally got the professionalism of your company. The second meeting when you were supposed to show up and you showed up eating oatmeal.
And you were like so in a rush and aloof and not really caring at all. You're like, anyways.
So professional.
But they actually got that, first of all, I was very busy, but also that I got it, like straight away. And they just knew from that point onward they were going to hire us. It took them a while to decide how they were going to fund it and whatever else and stuff. And money does not come easy to Kim. It really doesn't. So I'm honored that she's put herself out to this amount of money when her and her husband are not super wealthy people. So she has really, really invested her heart and soul into this project.
Wow.
So yeah, I mean, this transcends a business deal. This is life. It's not life and death, but this is a new life for Kim more than Paul. I mean, Paul's vanity metric is he wants to be a New York Times bestseller. You know, that's what Paul wants.
That would be fun.
That'd be fun. He'd like that. It's something he could bandy around on his T-shirt or whatever. Whatever. But Kim wants to make a difference. Kim absolutely believes that the education system needs her help in teaching children to use their imagination. I mean, it is really that fundamental from Kim's perspective. She just said if children would, and that's why she had teenage characters, and that's why she picked the hard journeys, and that's why she gave them gifts, because they're actually the 6 gifts that Bob Proctor talks about.
Why don't they have a children's book though?
Sorry, say again?
Why is their book aimed at adults then? It confuses me.
I don't think it is. I really don't.
They're very, very angry if we say it's aimed at middle schoolers.
I know that's just their problem. As far as I'm concerned, from the day that I started talking to them, and I've spent hours talking to them, it's never struck me as an adult. In fact, I think it's more so geared. It absolutely is geared to children, because what do kids in that preteen age group want to be? They want to be older. So the ages of the characters in the book, I think, are perfect for that, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and the only. That's the reach. There's 0 adults, unless they're like, I don't know, living on.
Well, here's the thing. Most people understand stories. Most adults understand stories when it's written at a grade 6 level, right?
Yeah.
We talk about that in blogging. So there is a Bob Proctor course called The Magic in Your Mind. It's actually a course that you can purchase for $597. And it says this: over the course of 6 weeks, Bob, Mary, and Sandy, whoever Mary is, will introduce you to some of the most earth-shaking and truly mind-changing ideas that you have ever heard about tapping into the power of your mind by learning to think in an orderly and creative manner. The 6 weeks covers memory, imagination, intuition, perception, will, and reason. It's the 6 gifts. It's right here.
But that's geared towards adults.
Yes. But as far as Kim is concerned, adults learn best when it's told in a story.
But not that. You'd have to have Harry Potter level in order to engage adults, because that's really, that's got a lot of.
We're not
can't change what we've got.
No.
We can't market it to kids because they're not talking to kids. The way none of the ways they show they're talking to kids. So we can't market it.
Paul only knows how to talk to his nieces and nephews who are like 6 and 7. He has no teenage paradigm at all.
Yeah. So if they were jumping on camera and on the right platforms and talking to kids, then great. But that's never going to happen with them.
No.
Wow, I think that's the fail. I think that's going to be the biggest problem.
It is what it is. So we have to work with the tools that we've got, right? I don't disagree with you, but I can't change that. Kim already has this in her brain. She already knows what she wants to do with the story all about Mason and how Mason got to do whatever he did and all these different things. So there is no guarantee it's going to be a New York Times bestseller. I've said that to her so many times. I'm blue in the face. She knows that. She knows if it happens, it'll happen because it's meant to happen.
But also, too, we talked about that, and that they knew of a company, or they had, there's an actual strategy that's required to get people. Okay. So not that we do it.
No. So she talked to Peggy McCall at length and hired Peggy McCall, and that's what she told him was possible. She's since looked at this from behind the kilt, if you like, or looked under the kilt. And Peggy McCall hired a literary agent to make phone calls for her, left, right, and center, and went on the road with a full-on book tour. Mm-hmm. That's how she got New York Times bestselling status, neither of which she told him they had to do.
And that's not what we sell.
No.
We don't sell that.
No. So she was kind of given a sort of a really pretty cake, but was given a different set of ingredients than what the other lady made her cake out of. So Peggy McCall has known Bob Proctor since she was 19 years old. She is now 60. She turns up at every single Bob Proctor event there ever is, and she is to Bob Proctor what I am to Lisa Sasevich. Lindsay knows what I mean by that. She is the poster child of his philosophy, and she is a multimillionaire herself with a big property and a pool, and her ego, I'm surprised even lets her get through the door. And if you don't stroke her ego and treat her like Liana the Queen, she doesn't want to know you.
I can't handle people like that.
Lindsay's laughing because she knows exactly who I'm talking about. But that's who they went to for this course, and they hired her privately, and that's why they wrote Gifted, because they really believed they could do a New York Times bestseller. But for Kim to be a New York Times bestseller is so that she can springboard this curriculum into the education system in the United States. So I'm getting a lot more depth now to this.
Yeah.
How committed Kim is. I'm not saying Paul is not committed, but he is not as committed as Kim. But Kim wouldn't have written the book by herself. She couldn't. She was struggling. Paul came along. They wrote it together. They did research together. They held each other accountable on Trello and blah, blah, blah. And the book's written. So,
and Kim doesn't want to market it by herself either. She doesn't want to do it clearly.
No, and she obviously she didn't have the money either. So by her spending, half of it, and then Paul spending the other half, then it became a viable project, right? So that's the lay of the land. And my commitment to them. Okay, the last other piece, Anna and I talked about this morning. Kim is speaking at a live event in Denver on Saturday, September 24th or 22nd, one of those dates. And she has to show up with 100 hardback copies of the book as part of her sponsorship deal of this Women's Leadership Conference. So come hell or high water, this book has to be in print by September 20th and bound and in her hand to give out to people. So they want to do the New York Times blah, blah, blah within a 30-day radius of September 22nd. It could be a little bit before, it could be the date of the springboard. So before Halloween, in that 30-day period is when this book will hit the shelves, if you like. And New York Times bestselling status is based on orders placed within a 30-day period or a 7-day period?
1 week, 10,000 copies.
Now, they have agreed that can include Kindle. Because initially they weren't going to include Kindle. I went, well, it's just impossible. Because a lot of people don't even buy books anymore. And ideally, I said to them, I would have preferred if you had Audible, electronic, and hardback on the same day, but that is absolutely not going to be the case. The Audible
I don't know
won't
why
even
they
happen.
can't do Audible, actually. These people want to think big. Audible would be a huge plus. George can read it. That's like a third of the book market.
I don't believe that is even on their radar. And I don't know cost-wise or time-wise if that's even possible. Because George made his in March, and he's still about 2 weeks away from getting it. So
yeah,
I don't know. If we want to get Marek or someone to do some research around these kind of things, I'm fine, because Alan's taking notes, by the way, for this kind of thing. I don't mind allocating some time to do some more research.
Okay. Even though
Anyway, the whole idea of this first 10 minutes or so is to just 20 minutes, gosh, is to just give you the lay of the land as best as I know it. And what we've got to do now is T-minus 90, whatever, how many days we've got between now and September.
The end of this month?
How many days is it between now and September 22nd?
all of July, all of August.
79 days. So T-minus 80 today. Okay? I just think if we're driven with a date, then we're gonna do things differently. So we have 80 days.
So both Pinterest and Facebook ads take a good 60 days to 90 days to get results. So if we're using those in our strategy, we need to really do them right.
Yeah. And they have not said, do not spend money. They just said to them they didn't have a budget per se. They thought their budget was us. And I said all along, you will have to run Facebook ads, and that was never included. So they know that. But at the same time, the number I gave them for an effective Facebook campaign to reach 10,000 people was between 13 and 20,000. And that kind of meant that had them running to the bathroom. So I don't know. We need to come back to, Paul just said, come back to me with a number.
Yeah.
So if we're not spending at least $20 a day right now, we're not doing anything.
Yeah. As we talked, Jonathan, advertisement is huge. No matter of, let's say, my past experience, as I mentioned, I had the best product from Germany. It's not advertised. It's not in people's face. People don't take it. People they look at it, but it has to be constantly in people's face. And I think advertisement is the way to go right now, because we're doing everything except also, as I mentioned yesterday, the Instagram is getting, for me, even boring to look at only quotes and kind of bookish stuff and inspirational stuff. It has to be more towards their book, not just quotes.
We need to go. There's several things that they did not want to release any of the book. They did not want anything. Jamie, did you just swear in your mind? I heard that. Jamie just dropped an internal F-bomb.
Wow!
We need to just tell them what they need to do, and without any doubt in my mind, they need to release at least chapter 1.
Mm.
So let's think about the toolkit that we have. We have a Facebook group, we have an email list, we have a website, and we have 5 social media platforms.
Yeah, and we have some beautiful graphics that Paige did, and I really think the quality of graphics needs to stay high. I haven't looked at their Instagram lately, but I do see some on their Pinterest that are meh, and I think we have to be careful about that. Brand standards.
Yep.
I just sent a copy or an ad that I flagged on Instagram that I keep seeing, and it's how to become a millionaire or something like that. But it's a book. And the way that the ad's formatted, it's very simple, but it's also with something we could create easily. I don't know if you're looking at Instagram ads, but it's something that I thought I instantly went, because it keeps coming up.
Instagram ads come along with Facebook Messenger and Facebook.
Okay.
At the same time.
The way it's just marketed, it's a great little graphic for the book, and it could be easily superimposed. We could do the same thing and, run that, because I'm seeing that about 4 times a week right now, and I'm not on Instagram, all the time.
My strategy a month ago was to reveal each character.
Well, this one's a free copy.
The characters, and then they stopped me after 3 because they got all pissy about other things. But we have 3 more characters that we haven't revealed that we have to do.
Adults, if you can't see some of the book, you need a sample. I'm not going to buy a book if I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
Okay, but
at least a little more insight.
Okay, so there was a book a couple of years ago called Rebel Girls. It was independently published. We could look into a few that have been successful and see, because Facebook ads have doubled in price and they have decreased in reach. So they are not necessarily our best strategy. They may be part of the strategy, but we have a specialist working with us and her numbers aren't wrong. They're expensive. Pinterest ads are 1/10 the cost. But we would have to do a better job of Pinterest, because right now we just need some support on the strategy there. So bringing in Kyla to make sure we've got the right keywords and everything set up might be a strategy.
Yeah.
And I really strongly think their best one is the videos that they're doing with other people. And this is why we started talking about the authors symposium, but we don't have to do a symposium. But connecting with other people to do cross promotion, I think is way bigger, because then they are reaching all of that audience and starting to tell their story to all of that audience. So we're using those videos in the group, and I think we need to look at okay, it's great to have exclusive content in the group, but also maybe we can leverage those better and tag Mitch and connect so much more to Mitch. We can get 10 times out of that.
Yep. Yeah, no, I'm with it. And the other piece too is that certain people that I followed on Instagram who are in the multiple thousands, they're showing up every day as themselves, and people are having conversations with this person.
Yeah.
The thing is, Paul's got a crap load of time.
Yeah.
Kim has some time. I mean, she lectures at a vet college, but she's home mid-afternoon. And Fridays, I don't think she works. And weekends, she doesn't work. So we kind of, about 2 weeks ago, gave them like a daily strategy of what they should be doing. And I went through it with them. And they both since met about that and agreed that they should be doing that. And I challenged her about it yesterday. I went, well, when are you going to start?
Yeah. Well, I think giving them that timer, that countdown, like if we went to mid-October, we'd have a good 90 days. And also...
Well, why don't we do that? Why don't we actually pick a date ourselves? Because she's told me that if Brian has all of the illustrations complete by the end of July, then it can be through all the ISBN printing, blah, blah, blah. The book will be completed by September. She wants to do 30 days. If we pick 90 days from today, when is that? That is...
Go gadget brain. 1, 2, 3,
Siri, what is 90 days from today?
8, 9, 10.
It's Thursday, the 3rd of October, 2019.
There you go.
Fun.
Thursday, October 3rd.
What about the amount of hours you guys are spending on all of this up until then? Is it still like
So they paid us for 6 months, which expires at the end of this month.
Mm-hmm.
And we had every right to sort of say, we've done all we need. We've done everything we've said we would do. But what we did say was we would help you launch this book.
Mm-hmm.
So I spoke at length with Lindsay, and we don't get another paycheck out of these guys now. They're paid up.
Mm-hmm.
But they paid us $45,000
Mm-hmm.
US. And that's a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a lot of trust. And there is a lot of money in the Bob Proctor organization
Mm-hmm.
that's looking at us, including the seller and the timekeepers guy. And if we kick the crap out of this project, I don't care whether we make NYT or not.
Sure.
It will be great. But if we give it a hell of a good run and people say, that was good, sorry, then that's the end result, right? We want a hell yeah. And I want to do this justice because they've put a lot of trust in us, and I'm not.
So you're just gonna go pedal to the metal.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is why I wanted this all hands on deck today. So we're looking at something mid-October, realistically, right? Canadian Thanksgiving is October 14th. 90 days is October 3rd. Let's just say we kick into gear with this only next week. That puts us in a week ahead. So
October 21st.
October 21. It's a Monday, right?
Is it?
Yeah.
It's 1 month after Kim speaks. When is it?
Okay. Approximately.
Approximately.
She's speaking
On the 24th, actually. I think you were right.
That's a Tuesday. Maybe it is. I don't know.
She's speaking to a women's leadership group. I would really like them to have a book mock-up that they can hold when they talk to other authors. We can give them the right print file. They can wrap it around any book. They just need that visual for one thing.
That's a great idea.
And then I think we should do some research. Like this Rebel Girls book launch was amazing, and now they've built a whole business around it. Mark Schaefer, he started seeding his book a few months before it came out.
Yeah, he did.
If we went back in his timeline, we could start to see, like, step by step what he did. And then others, like the ClickFunnels guy, he always offers his books in the coolest ways. And one of the things he does is you get the book for free, but you have to pay for shipping. And I think that's a strategy for increasing orders. I just don't know if we can research how that strategy works. I don't know.
The physical book costs them $9.99.
Yeah, but the paid for shipping is usually $15 or something like.
Oh, okay. And the book's going to be $14.99.
What is our end goal? What is our big goal? What's the main, and then work backwards, like.
Well, the end goal, let's just have a hairy, audacious goal, is New York Times best-selling list.
10,000 orders the week of, we could write that, the week of October 21st to 28th. Is that what we're saying?
Yeah, and it's running up to Halloween. It's kind of a mystery book, kind of whatever.
I don't know if we get to choose that. I thought that it has. Okay.
We choose the date.
Okay.
It just has to be within a specific week.
Okay.
And what we can't measure is who else is going to try and win in that particular week. Apparently June was the best month of the year to launch, traditionally, which obviously was never going to happen.
Can we say we launched the book on the 21st, but we want to count the week of a different week? Does it matter? Could it be a bestseller a year later? Is there any, or does it have to be the week of launch? You don't know.
It has to be within a given 7-day period. So if we can go back with a document to them next week and say, it can be a working document, but let's just say the week. So it gives Kim a month from D-Day, from when she stood on a stage to inspire those 100 people. And then we have, I don't know, let's just pick that date for now. The week of October 21st, right? Is that what we said?
Is it out to lunch to think that we could touch base with school districts to get this book in the library?
Nope. And a lady who was at Bob Proctor, who just retired, she was a head of a very large municipal school district, and she joined Bob Proctor to change the face of education. And Kim came up to her and said, I want to talk to you, and told her what she did and said, we both need to talk. So she's got that meeting happening next week.
Yeah.
I think the most powerful thing is that network, and how many ways can we use that network? And
if they don't deny it to hit that age group, I think that's the age group it should be. And if it is, as much as it is, it could be, that's your English book. That's not out of the realm,
Lindsay, remember you asked me to add a lot of those conferences where they can join?
Yeah.
That's a nice way to introduce yourself and kind of promote the book as well. But it's them that have to go out to these conferences. There's so many. There's literally just how to write a book, how to the publishing book, just like anything.
Anna, could you find more that are where they live and soon? Because they said the problem with that list is
you know what? Those that are surrounded are not necessarily like big companies or big. It's like locals, that kind of thing. But I guess with local, that's how it starts sometimes, I guess.
Well, if you meet the head of the district PAC at your local meeting, then you have a great connection, for example.
Okay.
So is this for elementary schools again, or what is this? What school age is this that we're?
I would say this is, to me, knowing my girls.
Middle school. So then we're marketing to middle school.
It's a junior high book.
What was that?
I would say junior high.
That is middle school, right?
Do they have Scholastic book? Because there's the Scholastic books. So if you can get your book in there, it goes all the way.
No, but they're printed by Scholastic, so no.
That's Canadian. There may be an American equivalent, but we have to be careful.
Okay, here's the other thing. I spoke to Kim about turning this into a keynote, a motivational speech yesterday. And there used to be a business book called Who Moved My Cheese? Anybody ever heard of that?
No.
And it was 4 mice that lived in a cage. They were fed by getting cheese out of a maze. And it was a scientific experiment that even though it was a very complicated maze, very quickly the mice learned how to find the cheese. And then when the mice knew how to find the cheese, they moved the cheese. And it's a cartoon. You can watch it. We'll find it on YouTube, but it's really worth a watch. And there's 4 kinds of mice. They had names. They're Hem, Haw, Sniff, and Scurry. So Hem gets to where the cheese was, and it's not there. And he just sits on his ass and went, well, I'm going to wait till the cheese comes back. And then Haw says, it's not there. The cheese is gone. And just bitches and claims. Scurry comes along and says, where's the cheese? Where's the cheese? Where's the cheese? And just runs around in circles. And Sniff says, well, gotta be somewhere, I'll go find it. And there is a whole management principle around these 4 personality types. So I said to Kim yesterday, I said, why don't you turn this into a motivational keynote? Pick the 6 memories and just say, Are you a Katie or are you a Peanut? Are you a James or are you an Emily? Are you a Sydney or are you a Charlotte? And pull out those pieces and turn that into a talk. And her eyes just totally.
Love it. And they already have a quiz with questions that they've already done half that work.
I was just going to say, isn't there something, you know, all those stupid, what's your name in colors, you know, do something like that.
So that's something that, if we develop the characters, that could be a winning. I mean, your eyes just all lit up when I talked about that. And that came out of my head yesterday in the middle of the call. I didn't even think about it.
It's so great. Actually, on the Rebel Girls,
I think
on the Rebel Girls website that I just pulled up too, is take our quiz to find out what kind of Rebel Girl you are. But people, and the personality type ones are really strong. Like there's Gretchen Rubin's 4 tendencies, and it's really neat. It's one where everyone could look up. It's like how you behave normally and relate to people. It's really cool.
I love it.
Yeah, I think that's great.
Okay.
And I was suggesting to Paul to do more with those as well, those quiz questions, and get them out on social and get them into the email newsletter and get them into blog posts and like really push that. Yeah.
So now that we have all the tools, is Anna gone? No, she's okay. Sorry. Suddenly your screen went black. These are all things that we could be doing with social posts, right?
Yes.
So this is when my brain explodes with ideas, and then when it gets to a logical order and procession of how to do things, I just shut up because it's not my gift. But I'll throw the ideas out, but that's why I want all 6 of you here, because between us as a team, we can so do this. I'm convinced that we can do this.
Okay. Close the door. I wanted to ask for a little bit of help with postings. Let's say, I mean, I don't mind to continue posting, but I feel like I need a little bit more creativity. It's almost like I'm going into the same spiral.
No, that's why we're here.
So Anna, there's a list of, so I think this is a strategy that we would want to be sure about first, but there's like a list of quiz questions that ask different questions to find out what personality type you are, and then that puts you into a character. So Jonathan, really, if we're aligning the whole, like if the brand messaging has a lot to do with this, what character you are, then we want to do it right? Also, the imagination guide is a huge piece that they have right now, and we could be using it in so many ways.
Yep, I'm all in.
I thought there was a group for that, like the imagination challenge.
Well, there is.
What's going on with that?
We haven't done anything with it yet.
Yeah, there's not much happening yet.
Because I think that would be a good thing if we could give out challenges to people and then they engage by posting it there. Like, what, you know, I don't know what kind of challenges.
Once again, I think people want to know a little bit more about the book, not necessarily. We're revealing the characters, okay, but what is this book all about? It has characters, unique characters, okay, but I think it's missing that little extra touch. Tell me a little bit, like, you know.
Yeah, no, we do. Yeah, I get.
Like the trailers, they give you this little bit to hold. Like that's how the people get interested in. Oh, I want to watch this, because the trailer just gives this little bit of reveal, not necessarily just the characters. It's not catchy. I think it's not enough.
No, okay. So this is all stuff we can do. We just need to tell them we're doing it, and then they just need to be in agreement. So that's the purpose of today and writing this up.
Could we I like that idea, Anna, having a trailer, and maybe having Kim and Paul write that trailer, because they know their book better than any of us, where we said, like, you are in the middle of blah, 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 and these 6 characters deal with their journeys, and have that intrigue in the content there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or little weekly tidbits or daily tidbits of little scraps and tidbits of the book, good little quotes or a funny part of it, and then people get more engaged to that. But I agree 100% that they have to give out samples. I mean, I'm watching your posting. I think you're doing great, but I agree with you 100%. It's all just quotes about rating, and well, is this not a book? And it says
I know.
but there's nothing on there that
I
lets us
know.
read anything.
Yeah.
And I think they need like a tagline, like looking at this Rebel Girls stuff. The reason it got so powerful and it's huge now is that they talked about empowering girls, right? So if the message behind this book is really about empowering people, I think we could nail that tagline a little bit and use it better. Like we could have pictures of powerful, kids doing awesome stuff or whatever it actually is.
Mm-hmm.
And
tie that to a character.
Yeah, but more so tie it into stuff people really care about. Like nobody cares about the characters in Gifted yet, but they do care about their 10-year-old having options when she grows up. Or
Yeah.
Well, especially if it goes kind of along like The Secret, the law of attraction. I mean, that stuff, if we can work a lot with that resonates with people so much. Everyone believes in a law of attraction, or you really should, at least a little bit, I think.
Yeah.
Maybe work a lot with that as well.
Also, just thinking out loud, do you think like Kim and Paul seem like the type of people that if you hold them accountable for something, they'll do it? So maybe like leading up to that October 21st date, having some sort of calendar that they can follow where we would want them to go live or something like that will hold them and give them a little description of what they could do. Because I think if you give them that idea, then they might be more inclined to actually do it.
Yeah, and I did that with Jemmy and Paige last week for the whole of July, and Paige has that template. It wouldn't be that hard to actually change that template that we just did for Jemmy and give it to Paul and Kim.
Yeah.
Something tangible that we have.
They need to show up. I mean, we've done a couple of live videos, sort of exclusive videos for the group. I asked Kim yesterday what was holding her up about sending the email out for Drip, and she said she'd never seen an email from Drip. She didn't even know how to get into Drip. Paul set up Drip, and she hadn't ever been given access to it.
But Paige just sent it to them, and then Paul said it's fine with him, but Kim had some questions. Oh, man.
Kim didn't know anything about it.
Okay. Is Paige sending it to her?
So Paige sent it to Kim yesterday, like how to get into Drip and what that email says and why can't we send it.
Good. Okay.
So there's a breakdown in communication somewhere there. Because we've got 100 people, best part of, on a list that could join that group to begin with.
Yeah, and I wrote an email chain, and it's really, we could use it. It says, use a blog this week, do this week. It's just sitting there. It's not being used.
Yeah, so we need to get back into that with them. So then it comes down to, so let's get a timeline. That's ideally, Arnhem, if you could do some calendars, or Arnhem probably is the best person, or get Marek to do it. And let's get a calendar and let's literally put the numbers like 1 through 90, or 89, 87, 88, that kind of thing, actually on a calendar template. I guess we need to agree with them the actual date, but if they have a calendar and they can say we have 84 days, we have 72 days, and I think that would be a very powerful motivator.
As long as it doesn't overwhelm them, yeah.
So again?
Besides these content assignments for them, or these things you're assigning them, are you going to have a discussion about an ad budget to be able to? Okay.
We have to. And Paul's already said to me, tell me how much you think it needs to be.
Because we can't put.
They may have been under the impression that they would have to keep paying us every month carrying on. They may have been. I don't know.
It did say that in the contract. So after 6-month mark, then we revisit it and.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah, and they were very surprised that I said I wouldn't be asking them for any more money other than specific hard costs, which would be hosting, email, licensing, or anything like that, swag, whatever. They know they're paying for that. So they're paying, after this month, they're paying for WP Engine and all that kind of stuff.
So when we do ads, we're not actually able to put the ad for the book up, right? So because if you put the ad for the book and people click on it, there's nothing.
The only ads we could run would be to join the group right now, right?
It's for the guide. Actually, it was what we would be able to advertise, and that's what we were working on. And basically we're getting people into the group. So the purpose of the ad isn't even e-commerce yet, which is another thing. It's only audience building and brand awareness. So it's a little tricky that way. Another idea that came into mind was that using.
I think that trailer part could be the ad.
It could be, but video ads, our specialist was saying that sometimes video ads end up being really a lot more expensive. So,
Oh, okay.
it's the thing. They used to be great. Things change. That writing service, Jonathan, we could hire the writing service to write like 10 blogs about really impressive people who went after their dreams, and we could get a whole bunch of content pretty cheap or something like that instead of waiting on Paul for every blog.
I'm fine to do that.
Okay.
I like that very much.
Okay.
I can do that. Finding people. I guess, is that what you're looking for?
So, well, I'm not sure, but maybe talking to Kim and Paul a bit too, a list of, because we have a bit of a list, and Anna, that would give you a lot more content too.
Yeah.
A list of, I'm just looking at the Rebel Girls site.
Yeah.
Like they did like a little bio of each of these amazing people, and they cover like scientists and just people who really kick butt. We would want to find our own people. But Kim and Paul probably already have a list of people that we could look into, like Oprah Winfrey, but she's overdone, but that kind of
Yeah.
Okay. And you just loop me in, and I'd love to collaborate with you on that.
Okay.
Jonathan, to create that calendar, of course, because you would know what's best, what they should discuss and stuff like that in that calendar.
Yeah.
Did you want to do it today or
No.
to get it? No? Okay.
It won't be today. We
Okay.
could do it on early next week though.
Okay.
And maybe we could come back as a team and just look at what you guys do for the calendar and re-brainstorm.
I think this needs to be a weekly team meeting now going forward to help Anna. I mean, Anna's just the frontline writer, but we all need to
be on our own.
it takes a village, right?
Yeah, it's true.
The other piece to this would be, didn't Paige actually do some ads for the Imagination Guide that we
created some graphics? So to make them ads, we have to get them paid.
So then we have to go back. We need another meeting with Andrea, though, right?
We do. And in the meantime, the one thing we were going to do is just boost some posts to using the business manager. And this week, I told you I could send you a screenshot of how.
Yeah, I need to see how that works. I don't know.
Let's do that.
I'm just opening up Rebel Girls 2 here, so.
So they didn't start with this whole franchise. They started with one book, and a year later, another book, and now they have graphics and like they started with beautiful graphic design. I think that was a huge thing.
Yeah, I see it. I see it.
But I would research.
We've got the most world-class, beautiful website. We really do. And the Imagination Guide that is absolutely incredible. Even the business cards are a thing of beauty.
And I think all of their graphics that we put out need to have that same level, so that, especially with this example, you recognize right away. It's like, oh yeah, I wanted to check that out. It gets you curious. And Paige can give you, Anna, Paige can give you all kinds of stuff to backgrounds and images to work with. She's already got them.
Yeah. Maybe it'll be really good, Anna, if you come here early next week, and let's just allocate a couple of hours with you, me, and Paige. Let's really work on content creation ideas for visuals.
Okay.
And then if we do these blogs, Anna, you'll have all kinds of stuff that you can share. That'll give you.
That's a great idea.
All right.
Okay. What else? What else am I missing here? What else could we be doing?
Well,
there's the Instagram account, and there's Facebook and LinkedIn. We haven't actually put almost anything on LinkedIn since.
No, I didn't. I'm not sure. On Hootsuite, there's no LinkedIn. By the way, your phone is actually almost useless. Sorry, it's not working. I have to literally just get on my phone everything.
Is it?
Even the same password that I can put in my phone, your phone would say it's incorrect. I don't know. I've never.
Well, bring it back next time because it was working.
Yeah, it's interesting. It has Wi-Fi and everything, but it's not.
It's a six something. I mean, it's an older one, but I thought it was working, but I didn't know it wasn't.
If it's a 6, they suck. I have one.
Oh.
Just FYI, 6 and 6S. I was going to mention, Jonathan, about Reddit. I know I keep bringing it up, but it seems to be where all the preteens and teens and young adults are on. I'm not kidding. It's like so I don't know if that's something that we want to look at. You just create your own Reddit, and it's an account, and then you just post to it. And so we could do, it's like r/read gifted, and you can just now start to post everything, and then you know, and then you get into discussions. It's a hugely, it's all about.
Okay, so
Okay.
we're not the people to get into those discussions.
Yeah.
That's something that we'd have to get Paul into.
Yeah.
Because we can't do that.
Exactly. Well, I'm just saying it could be a suggestion for them,
So if
because
I inspire them around this motivational keynote and using the 6 characters as a way of talking and give them a keynote, that's a speak to self talk right there.
That's what we were talking about too, is giving them both speech to self talks, and it's really about brand messaging. I think that's strong. Reddit is great, but it is just another channel, and it takes a whole learning curve. Like it's been on my radar for a really long time, but
it's not that hard. I've been, you know, but I understand. It is time consuming, but you don't have to be you can put posts on and never say anything else. You can just.
And there's something about audience there too, right? And about being able to be found.
It's a massive. It's just seems to be that's where they all are. Like all of.
Okay.
Yeah.
How about we divide and conquer here? What if a number of us adopt a platform rather than multiple platforms? So that I'm just going to throw this out. What if Arnhem does their LinkedIn, Anna does their Instagram, I do their Facebook, and Lindsay does their Twitter?
I think it might go willy-nilly.
Would that be crazy?
I think so.
Yeah, I think so too.
What if
There's too much room for error. Everybody's all over.
Yeah.
What if we start with the center and get those speak to cells done and start getting some bigger blog content and turn those all into nuggets and really work with deadlines and accountability?
Yeah.
Okay. I can, Jonathan, I just, because I see that this is more time, that needs more time, I think I could add more time towards gifted. That's what I think, because I have limited time, so I was working towards the time that I had, but I can increase the time and more focus on gifted.
Well, that would be great, because we need to.
Yeah.
You asked for other things, and I think Twitter is great. There's a lot of authors on Twitter and a lot of like Christian lit and stuff, which is kind of related, right? And Snapchat, maybe when we get some beautiful Instagram stories, they can go on Snapchat too. Like, we don't have to necessarily go hard on Snapchat, but we could pick it up.
I was going to do Snapchat, but then it seemed to sort of fall out of grace with so many people.
Yeah.
It's also, yeah, I mean, you have to be Snapchatting to do it, right? But the Christian idea?
I could do the Snapchat. Anna, have you ever done Snapchat even?
I know I don't have a Snapchat, no.
Yeah,
I think what Lindsay just said with the Christian thing, because Bob Proctor's religious, he's Christian, they're all Christian based. That would be a huge lead in if we can start plugging or looking at that sort of area too.
Yeah.
So do we have all their logins on one sheet still, or is that kind of messed up?
We should have.
I wouldn't mind going on Twitter. I actually really like Twitter lately. And following for them and just sort of growing that sort of connection base, I guess, and see what happens.
The other thing that we have an in with now is the girl who does all of Proctor Gallagher's social media. I know. In fact, she knew me. I didn't know her, and she reached out to me. I've told somebody this story already.
You told us on the team meeting yesterday.
All right. So she messaged me again this morning, just asking me why I went to the event and what were my takeaways. And she's like, "Wow, not many people do what you do for their clients." So she's all in on us, and she's in Calgary. I'm not against. She's freelancing too. She doesn't work for Bob. She's a contractor. I'm not against having a conversation with her about how she could. She can't do anything with Bob Proctor stuff, but maybe she has some time or advice or capacity to help us on Twitter or something like that too. I don't know.
Is she doing a good job of his social, or is she not? Yeah. What if we asked her for some suggestions of people to connect with? Like, who are the authors in Bob Proctor's, and can we? Yeah. Like, because it's really those connections, I think.
No, it absolutely is. Yeah, I'm happy to approach her.
Like Mark Schaefer, when he released his book, it was all about influencers, right? So he he went and got the book into hands of people and took pictures with them, and he had them reading and commenting on his book. It was all those connections.
There's only a handful of people who actually read it though before it was launched. Literally a handful.
Yeah.
Um,
but everyone couldn't wait. And it became his speech too. His speech at social media marketing world was the book.
It has become a speech. Yeah, in a big, big way.
Yeah.
Okay.
So moving forward, do I continue doing daily posts?
Yes. Oh, 100%. Yeah. No, there is no doubt that we need to almost intensify, let alone. I mean, you took out, because I was doing every post, and I did from the get-go, from when Eileen left. And then you're doing them now, and I haven't done as many. I've still done a couple, but maybe I just need to add on top of you and do some as well.
Okay.
And Anna, what's your hashtagging? It looks like you might be using the same hashtags a lot.
No, I've been changing around.
Okay. Maybe
Sometimes just adding or putting away some.
Maybe we could get some brainstorming on those and come up with some that are more
great. Yeah. Just extra help. Yes, that would be great.
Even like ones that relate to Bob Proctor or action, stuff like that.
Yeah, on a weekend or summer, I would use like summer, like there was a summer is here. I would do summer stuff or, things like that. It does change around. So
yeah, I'm just looking at some authors' Instagram stories here. I mean, we got to get them doing stories.
Yeah.
Yeah. Once again, I don't know, like, I don't think we should be very pushy, but Paul has to really, I don't know, we have to inspire him or encourage him to do more, because I feel like Kim is doing a lot now.
Yeah. Okay. So we need
an action plan document that I can go back to them with. I mean, my next meeting with them is on Monday. I've got to get them to re-engage the 6 characters and get the other 3 revealed. And then there are others, because there's sub-characters in the plot, like Jerry the Octopus and Mason and all these other people that actually, there's not many people other than that, but...
what if you introduce the characters a little differently and, as well as in the trailer, but introduce them from that which type are you angle?
Oh yeah, I would agree, but I wanted to get all 6 of them under a belt first, and actually have an Instagram story about each character.
Mm-hmm.
Then we could go back with Charlotte's a Forever 21 diva, but at the same time, she's an internal warrior, and she has psoriasis because she internalizes everything. There's a lot of character detail that they gave us that is not in the book. The book doesn't tell us that Sydney is from India. So every time I did a character reveal, we had like a 20-minute conversation about what I could and couldn't say, because a lot of the rationale in those character reveals that they gave us is not in the book. It's just so that that these are 6 real people in their minds, like actually real people. So yeah,
that's what authors tend to do. I've read, reading a lot. They escape.
Kim said something to me the other day, because she said she wrote the chapter about the locket. If you got this far, it's one of the early ones, and suddenly Peter's lost the locket, and suddenly it's on the neck of a lady from the Victorian era. And she went, how can I get the locket off this lady's neck? And it's like, I'm an author, I can do anything I want. So the woman disintegrated, and they got the locket back and out of a pile of dust. And that's when I realized I was an author. And it's like, that is interesting. So there's lots of little key things like that we can't reveal yet, but there's a lot of little stories like that we could probably tap into about how they came up with these things. I know she read a story about a girl called Charlotte on Facebook who died in an accident. We can't tell anybody that, but there is an actual picture of a girl called Charlotte who is deceased. And that's kind of why Charlotte's Kim's favorite, because it was based on a real person that inspired her. Kim's daughter, by the way, Andrea, is a burn surgeon. She works she's like one of the leading burn surgeons in the San Diego area of California, Southern California area. She just got, Kim went to a black tie event the other day, and it was actually her daughter's graduation, but I didn't want anyone to talk about it.
Wow.
She's a big deal in the medical world, and she's now on faculty at USSD or whatever it is, and it's one of the leading burn surgeons.
And
So
she's
this and you know, there's a lot of, I mean, Paul's family is from Croatia. I mean, there's a lot of other pieces that we could say, you know, guess where Paul's family's from, you know, and give them like an American map, an Italian map, and a Croatian map, and have fun with it, you know. Guess what Kim's favorite animal is, and, you know, have a horse, a cow, a pig, and a donkey or something. I don't know. Is that too silly? I mean, when I first started off, I did post like the top 10 places to read a book, and I just got 10 pictures out of my phone. And we could be recycling some of those early posts. Your favorite character, your favorite book, your favorite author, the favorite genre, the favorite type of way of reading, electronic audio, all these kind of things could be posts, right?
Yeah, or you could go bigger into those things that people are passionate about, like you were talking about, like the imagination, the secret, the law of attraction. We could get like each one of those facilities that the faculties that the characters develop, those are an interesting subject.
Yes, they are.
Because I think just talking about reading isn't going to be enough of a hook.
Yeah. But once again, Jonathan, if we are going to meet with Paige, we should have more of these graphics towards the book, get people more, everything more towards the book. Like I'm talking about any quotes or anything should be connected to the book. Like the graphic I'm talking
attraction are big things about Bob Proctor, and they only wrote this book because basically this book is what Bob Proctor teaches.
Yeah.
So we could take a backstory as to how they got to these 6 pieces and talk about, you know, this is Bob Proctor's thing. I mean, I have 6 books here of Bob Proctor's that I was given as gifts. I mean, I came back with like £9 worth of swag from this for her. Anyway, it's all here to look at.
So the 6 faculties again are, can you help me with that? Memory.
Imagination. Intuition. Perception. Will. And reason.
I think those are themes that we should be using significantly.
There is a document in Basecamp or Dropbox, you know, we had all those 6, and then the 6 gifts of the crystal ball, the quill, and the scales.
And those are on the website. It's easy to see. Because I really think like
came from.
And a story of where your imagination can lead you, where your intuition can lead you, like a lot around each of those.
Mm-hmm.
Paul originally was, in our defense, he originally was going to write us a blog about each one of those, and that was the idea, and he never actually accomplished that.
Well, we need to hold his feet to the fire because he's not doing anything, and they keep saying, "You tell us what to do, and we will do it really fast." See, how many times has he said that? Mm-hmm. And I don't think we're really asking him to do anything.
Okay, so let's get him to write a blog about each one of those things, because then we can use it in 10 different ways to Sunday.
Yeah. Okay. Anna's writing notes.
A blog, a person that we could research and get a second blog written about.
Yeah.
Maybe we would be best to outsource those blogs, or no?
Yes, but it's more personal. Even if he could give us like a brief, then we could outsource it. But like, if you give a freelance writer, write us a blog about memory. What are you going to get? So you have to give them a lot of direction.
So maybe, I mean, Paul's done like all of these courses with Bob. Maybe we just say to Paul, you know, we want a blog, and just give it the 6 and say, hey, you guys, we need 6 blogs on one of each of these. Who's writing which, and when can we have them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go back to the basics. These are things that we. Yeah.
Maybe they do just need that checklist, like a visual board with the countdown. I think that's the great idea here. I like it down from top to bottom, like 90 days, 80 days. Yeah.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I just if you measure it, you know, if it's a goal, we'll hit it. We've got to get a ton more followers as well on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. And we followed over 300 people on Instagram, and only 90 people have followed us back.
Yeah.
Do we pay for those?
No, it's all organic.
Can we pay for those?
Oh,
No. Improvement.
we can't buy the likes, but we could run campaigns to get people interested. Definitely buy likes.
And I think Anna has a good point. When you go to the Instagram, you can't really understand what it's about. And so I think even a graphic, to start with the word imagination, memory, even those things, and somebody can go to the account and they'll understand a little bit more about this.
Okay. Okay, good. Yeah.
Good starting.
Just using more of their graphic to get it.
Their style, yeah, because the font needs to sort of line up. I love some of the ones that you've done; they're great, but just sort of keeping it all so it looks on brand.
Yeah.
I think these 6 blogs are a key for content and getting people to understand what the book is, because it does. It says read gifted, but there's nothing to read.
Yeah, exactly.
That's very
we got to get back into
exactly. Yeah.
And their profile on Instagram says the novel's coming summer 2019. So let's update that.
Well, maybe. When does summer finish? September.
We can't call that
summer.
I don't think people think of September as summer.
No.
So we need to change that. Once we agree this with them, we need to change that.
The fall. Which I think is really good to key that into Halloween, because maybe they could do, they could talk to somebody and get some costumes done up, and they can take pictures of them in a costume or something. I don't know, but to tie it in would be a good thing.
Well, I mean, like to Disney, they had a character called Figment. It was Figment of the Imagination. They had Imagination Land in Epcot. The memory. I mean, we could pull things out of memory, intuition. I mean, that sixth sense. I mean, animals, can see things that people can't. All these sort of things could come out of those blogs, couldn't they?
Yeah.
One quick question. There's a few people that have written a review, those that have already read the book. Do you think it could be a video done by any of our staff, whoever has read a book, and kind of speak about it a little bit?
Well, I've actually read the book cover to cover.
And a quick review, not like getting into details.
Erynn, I know you read some of it, right?
Up to the point where they were in, I think, kidnapped from the treehouse or something, or taken from the treehouse. Yeah, something like that. That's it.
I actually did finish it. It took me a while.
Wow.
But when I've reread certain chapters, and when I'm on a plane, I just pick up my phone and I reread a certain chapter. The more you read, the more is in it, actually. It's interesting.
And Kim sent a document of comments from people who read the book. Jonathan, you were most of that, but
she did. Yeah.
So
we've got that. We're allowed to use snippets from the videos of her with Brian and talking about the illustrations. Anything they sent us, we're allowed to use. It's just if we specifically quote something from the book, we have to show it to them first.
Yeah.
And we have to make sure it's grammatically correct, spelt right, all that kind of thing too.
Anna, you might spend some time, I don't know if you're accessing your Dropbox on the internet or if you have it downloaded to your computer. But
what I've learned? Just kind of the Drive and Dropbox, it seems to be related to Emily, the girl before.
Yeah.
And when you guys share, she's not getting it, or it's me now that is not getting everything, I guess. Or social, maybe, I don't know, because on the drives, Adam had it, or Jonathan had it, I didn't have it, and I'm like, I'm not sure why it's not connecting.
You'll need to log into Dropbox as
Jonathan. Yeah.
Then it should be
the drive. Then it means that the drive, the Dropbox. I spoke with Anam, and sometimes it shows, and then sometimes it doesn't. Strangely.
Do you mean download it on your computer, or do you mean on their website, on the Dropbox website? Because you can download Dropbox as an app onto your laptop.
Oh, okay. No, I don't have that.
It's easier to work.
That's probably what it is.
Okay.
When you download it onto your desktop, do it as Jonathan, and then just choose which folders you want, because it's huge. Okay. You don't want everything, but you might want all of it.
Okay, good. Okay, I think that's the trick then. I'll just download it as an app.
Yeah.
Jonathan, what about putting them on Lately so that they can be interactive with the dashboard? I like Lately, especially if somebody wants to be interactive. I know Anam and I are having different relationships with Lately, but I like Lately. And if it's about getting them involved,
if it's the right thing to do, I'm not against adopting technology. You know that.
yeah, because then she can be a part of the dashboard, and then she can be
That's a
putting
great idea.
her
I can see what's
comments and
coming.
her 2 cents, and then it'll also be
Okay.
in their face to keep them going, right? Because they'll get an
So you-
email.
so-
You need to approve.
Jamie, you and Anna need to meet then.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like that.
Well, we're in Chilliwack, so
Yeah.
No.
we can set that up. Even if you want to do something like this weekend to spend an hour or two, and I can get you all hooked up too Lately.
Oh, I have my family here. Sorry.
Well, that's okay. I have family here too. I was just trying to avoid them.
Okay. Okay.
They're like the elders are coming this weekend. I'm just like, I don't know if I can do that much hugging and talking and.
My family arrive on Thursday from England.
Oh wow.
So are we all gonna just have like?
Sorry, Debbie's parents anyway. Yeah.
You have to go into the office this weekend. That's what you said.
No, this is the spare room. And I gotta share my office now. Darn it. No. Okay.
Use a tent.
Yes, I can close the gazebo blinds and I'll stick my 80-year-old great aunt in there. There you go. Come back.
Okay. So we have a lot to do and time is ticking.
Yeah, and I was going to say, if we're doing this every week now, we can certainly, I mean, we don't need to have 2-hour meetings or whatever. So
Yeah, because we've
When-
got
when's
Hubbard.
the best time for everybody? Fridays or what?
Can we
Yeah.
get back to you on that? I can't nail you down a best day right now.
Yeah.
Of course. I would like to set this up in Monday as an action because I think the way it tracks is really cool. What if
Yeah.
I did that for the next 10 minutes?
I played with it for an hour last night. I quite liked it.
Yeah,
What are we playing with? Sorry.
Monday.com. So
Oh yes, I was watching the video.
Yeah, good. What if we did that and then we're also testing the software? But I think because the neat thing is with the click of a button, you can see it in a calendar, you can see it in all kinds of different ways. And maybe, Jonathan, even their 90-day schedule could be done in Monday and they could be brought in as
I think if we show up with all of this, they're going to be over the moon. I don't think, I know.
So then maybe Anna, we'll make some time next week. I'll talk to you on Monday,
Okay.
and I'll
sounds
come maybe Tuesday or something. I don't want to give you Monday because I don't think I can do Monday, but Tuesday for sure.
Okay. Wonderful.
Okay. So, and Anna's got notes she's going to circulate.
Yeah,
Hey.
where did you want the notes posted? Usually everything would go on Basecamp, so just wondering.
the notes on them. Let's try Monday. So I was just going to do mine, but if you have notes, I would be grateful because I have to get back to George. And I'm happy, like, if you're like, Lindsay, I can't even log in. We could go back and forth.
Okay,
So
yeah, I'll try it out.
if we can make a new project and look at how we could assign tasks to people and
Let's try it. Let's do it.
just give it a whirl.
Okay.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, everyone.
Just wondering, does anybody has problems with Hootsuite Instagram? It's not posting for some reason.
Instagram was pretty screwed up a couple days ago or yesterday. Like it just, that nothing was refreshing or going on. So it could have been that. Could have
You
been
might have to
Instagram.
just reconnect.
Yeah. The other thing is, Anna, you can have up to 5 Instagram accounts on one phone.
Mhm.
So you
Okay.
can switch out of one and switch into another.
Okay.
I know I gave you a separate phone, but if it's not working,
Yeah, no, I'll be using mine.
we
I
can-
use mine. I gave up on not using mine. Like,
Yeah.
screw it, I'm using mine. It just makes life easier.
Yeah. Yeah, it does.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'll let you guys go.
Okay, good.
Thank you,
Jonathan,
everybody.
are you
This
staying
was
on?
so good. I'm very excited. I feel like a grown-up.
Mm.
Oh, you should.
It's a good thing.
Jonathan, may I for 1 second just go off note? Miss Hubbard, we're going to meet at 1 o'clock.
Yep.
I tried to set up her Instagram, but she took too long to respond to the code. So we'll just set up Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter while we're in message with her online. Is that all right? Okay.
Okay.
See you at 1.
You bet.
Have a good
Bye, guys.
Thanks,
Bye.
everyone.
Happy Friday.
Bye.